Medieval Sleep Science and Bedtime Rituals. Have you ever wondered what secrets the dreams of medieval monks might reveal under the flickering candlelight of Clooney Abbey? As darkness swept across Europe, and the Rhone River quietly reflected golden moonlight, faith in sleep became legend, from the chants echoing through the cloisters to the seated slumber rituals of nights before battle. Over the next 15 seconds, close your eyes, relax your shoulders, and let gentle sounds carry you into medieval dreamscapes where the science of sleep and legendary tales converge. In the warm glow of red candlelight, the corridors of Clooney Abbey stretched into long, dancing shadows as each drop of molten wax plinked onto the stone floor like the sacred beat of a drum calling the faithful. A gentle waft of incense wood curled through the hushed arches, banishing every care and comforting the soul. Medieval physicians believed that candlelight and incense smoke not only purified the air but also balanced the body's humors, guiding the weary into a deep, restorative sleep. The monks meticulously recorded breathing rhythms, heartbeats, and mindfulness techniques in leather-bound scrolls, passing these divine dream practices down through the ages. In the misty glow beneath the stone vaults of Northumbria's fortress, Sir Aldrich stripped off his cold steel armor and sipped a cup of overnight brewed chamomile tea, letting its gentle warmth seep from throat to chest, dissolving the tension wrought by a day's brutal training. The floral sweetness of chamomile, laced with honey and a faint metallic tang from his freshly dusted armor, created a rare sanctuary of calm amid relentless warfare. Medieval scholars believed that a warrior's vital humors, accumulated by day, would guide his dreams at night, and as Aldrich closed his eyes, battle standards and trumpets faded away, giving way to an endless sunset plain where his wife's lullaby whispered him home. That peaceful vision, soft as an invisible shield, renewed the night's strength, for beneath his iron shell lay a heart as fragile as morning dew, sustained by these nocturnal reprieves. When night draped the ancient stone village, Morwenna, wandering prophetess, slipped across the well-worn courtyard under silver moonlight filtering through the yew boughs, painting shifting shadows on moss-grown rooftop. In her hand she carried a cup of black honey infusion brewed from mandrake root, valerian blossoms, and laudanum bark, its rich aroma coaxing the nerves to rest. Her trembling, authoritative whisper in the old Celtic tongue, "Somnus venit, visum revelat," served as a sacred invocation into dream's domain. That night, young Ælfric lay restless, until, upon closing his eyes, he beheld golden barley fields basked in dawn's glow, drought-ridden anger giving way to the villagers' joyful laughter. In that moment, Morwenna's dream water proved more than a child's magicite, became the spark of hope, rekindling every heart by the old stone well. As the last light of dusk spilled through Westminster's vibrant stained glass, jeweled rays danced across the mosaic floors, softening the grand hall in anticipation of the Vespers. A warm incense haze drifted among the solemn columns and time-worn brick walls, while flickering candles like 1,000 wandering stars illuminated the sanctuary. Then came the choir's exalted refrain, Azimutha, Hosanna. Each soaring note rose to the vaulted ceiling before gently settling back into the hush, echoing like a timeless prayer. Medieval healers and monastic orders believed these harmonies balanced the body's four humors, guiding the soul into mindful serenity. More than ritual, the Vespers acted as a natural sedative, weaving a silken pathway into sleep. In the breath-stilled moment after the final chord faded, when the universe itself seemed to pause, the monk, bowed his head, warmed by the lingering resonance, trusting it to bridge the waking world and the realm of dreams. As the candle's flame waned, the door to Count Lambert's bedchamber clicked softly shut, revealing a majestic oak tester bed carved with dragons and phoenixes, draped in crimson velvet, and set upon a sumptuous Persian rug. Lavender sachets and dried rose petals hung by the window, mingling with a small sandalwood block beneath the pillow to banish the chill of the stone walls. From the inner quarters drifted a gentle lute melody, the notes like a whispered lullaby through the wooden threshold. The Count opened his psalter, recited a brief prayer for tranquil slumber, and his lady placed a pouch of soothing herbs into the hearth, an age-old sleep elixir drawn from monastic lore. A soft chorus of Nina Nana Medieval from his attendants filled the room with calm and solemn peace. Medieval physicians taught that lavender, rosemary, and licorice balanced the body's phlegm and heat, preparing the mind for restful dreams. As the Count closed his eyes, childhood memories of a simple cottage window, golden morning light on wheat fields, and children's laughter gently surfaced, an invisible elixir restoring his spirit so he might awaken renewed. As the last grain of sand slipped through the hourglass, the flicker of an oil lamp set dancing the shadows of alembics, rabbit pit vials, fossil boxes, and a thick leather tome of the philosopher's stone formulas across Johann's Augsburg workshop. The air pulsed with biting sulfur, the damp tang of mercury, and the resinous scent of juniper wood. A soft clink sounded as Johann set down his test tube, breathing deeply before fatigue drew his eyelids shut. In his dream, he drifted through liquid crystal, where lead dissolved into precious metal under a halo of light that painted luminous crosses upon the molten surface. A whisper echoed, "Vis algor cordis, transmutatio anime." Medieval doctrine held that an alchemist's dream united his masculine and feminine humors, unlocking latent chemical potential. Upon waking, Johann discovered fresh formulas scrawled across his parchment, symbols and numbers, beckoning further discovery. His heart swelled as he realized true power lay not only in compounds, but in the transformative fire of his own ambition, from seeker of gold to bearer of enlightenment. A quiet smile curved his lips, eyes alight with faith in everyday miracles. Far off at Dover's harbor, weary fishermen gathered around a crackling fire after long days hauling nets. As dusk deepened, the sea's gentle rhythm waves lapping against the hull served as an invisible drum, underscoring their ancient lullaby. Cast your nets and dream of endless tide, while gentle waves rock you side to side. Thatch cottages lined the shoreline, windows ajar to admit briny breezes that flickered candlelight across wooden walls and water's surface. The elder mariner's gravelly voice, carried on the wind, soothed salt-scarred faces and kindled hope for tomorrow's catch. Medieval healers believed folk music harbored a living spirit, harmonizing the heart and cleansing the mind. As the fishermen closed their eyes, they slipped into a half-waking, half-dreaming state souls entwined with sea and moonlight. When the final refrain faded and only the steady waves remained, each heart pulsed with a silent vow to the sea and to the promise of distant shores. When the sails snapped taut against the icy gusts of the yellow sea, sailor Gareth forsook the helm and climbed onto the dew-slicked deck. Under silver moonbeams, the dark water rippled like molten glass, and planks creaked beneath his boots. Coils of rope and mooring chains at his feet exhaled scents of pine tar and lamp oil. The sea's steady roar echoed like an unseen drum, mingling with the sigh of wind through the sails and the distant blast of a foghorn. Before slipping into his hammock, Gareth sipped warm ginger whinny ritual thought to stoke comfort and circulate vital humors, then gazed up at the star-veiled sky and drifted off to the ocean's om, om, om. Between gusts, he dreamed of a simple cottage by a dim lantern and the laughter of children weaving through each wave. In that vision, the sea became a guiding beacon, cradling his soul amid the vast expanse. Beneath a slender moonbeam filtering through Sherwood's towering oaks, a mossy carpet shimmered like a deep green quilt as a troupe of wandering minstrels arranged their candles in a glowing ring. The plaintive strains of a violin entwined with the mellow thud of a small drum against a flat stone, while leaves whispered underfoot, luring minds into a twilight state of half-wakefulness. The humid scent of moss and wild herbs, sweetened by a dribble of honey from an age-old beehive, balanced the body's humors in accordance with Hippocratic lore. Then came the climax. A masked dancer, clad in oak bark, slowly pirouetted upon the emerald floor, each step tracing arcs of light. In that moment, spectators felt not merely a dance, but the forest's very spirit entwining with their own dreams. Under the silent ramparts of Constantinople, Emperor Theodosius strode along chilled marble corridors where his candlelit throne had long grown dark. A distant church bell tolled in measured rhythm as draughts tugged crimson drapes, and the rich scent of evening incense mingled with orange blossom offered in nightly rites for the empire's peace. Sipping spiced wine infused with rose, cinnamon, and nutmeg, an age-old remedy to soothe the nervous, reclined upon silken Byzantine sheets. As he closed his eyes, the weight of courtly duties faded, revealing a vision of golden grain fields and contented folk humming lullabies. In his dream, he removed his jeweled crown to walk hand in hand with the very farmers he ruled, and heard his wife whisper, "You are not merely our sovereign, but the heart of this realm." When the final echo vanished, Theodosius smiled softly, his spirit buoyed by a hope that transcended crowns and courts. In a damp alcove beneath St. Martin's ancient stone walls, Balthazar huddled in a tattered blanket as candlelight flickered through a rotting wooden window frame, revealing a simple straw mattress. A solitary bell tolled, clang, clang, its call to mercy mingling with the steady breaths of keepers on patrol. The faint aroma of damp earth wove with drifting incense, and the promise of freshly baked bread from a nearby kitchen, conjuring memories of his first full meal after months of hardship. In slumber, Balthazar beheld a banquet for the poor, steaming soups, dark loaves, and the gentle gaze of a kindly nun offering each portion, accompanied by her soft chant. Charitas es lumen animae, caritas vivificat hostias. Awakening to find a small loaf of bread beside his blanket, he smiled through gratitude, proof that even in the blackest night, compassion's light endures. As night fell over Embercombe, the forge's embers cast a purple-tinged glow across Wolfstan's sweat-drenched face, while drifting smoke and heat rose from the roaring coals. The steady lang-lang of his hammer striking steel echoed like a warrior's drumbeat, interwoven with the creak of wind through the wooden shutter. The scent of burning charcoal, mingled with tar and the acrid tang of leather from his apron, filled the air. According to medieval remedy books, a blacksmith would chew a mint leaf before sleep to cool his fiery humors and soothe his aching muscles. In his dream, Wolfstan beheld the perfect blade gleaming beneath a pale moonlight, accompanied by the triumphant applause of ranks of soldiers about to march to war. The emotional climax struck when he realized each hammer blow was not merely shaping steel, but beating in time with a hero's heart, filling him with pride and the hope that the sword he forged would protect his village and loved ones. When the last oil lamp guttered out in Alwine's herb chamber, cool mist from the stone wash basin rose to mingle with the scent of mint and dried botanicals, while the soft patter of rain outside and the steady clack-clack of a water ladle echoed like a slow heartbeat, lulling him into stillness. Among jars of angelica root, honeysuckle bloom, and shelves of leather-bound tomes, the healer closed his eyes and drifted through a dream garden where plant rose murmured, "Blend this ratio, add this drop of oil," until a sacred voice intoned, "Sanare corpus, illuminare animus." Awakening to find fresh formula notes scrawled in his sweat-damp notebook, Alwine knew the divine inspiration of Hygeia had guided his hand-promising cures not only for the body, but also balm for the weary soul. As the first star twinkled through Arden's midnight sky, Eloan the forest archer softly removed her hood, letting strands of pine-scented hair spill free. Around her, a wooden encampment hugged the forest's edge, a deep green canvas tent set beside a smoldering hearth and a wooden quiver resting on the ash-dusted ground. The crackle of embers and Eloan's measured exhale boon marked each moment before sleep, while the air filled with the resinous aroma of fir and cedar oil, sweetened by remnants of night-harvested berries. Following Arden's ancient rite, she inscribed 3 arrows upon a leather patch, invoking the forest spirit's stillness, then sipped rowanberry tea as an owl's distant call promised safety. In her dream, Eloan strode across a windswept plain, each arrow she loosed striking true like a bolt of lightning at dawn's golden edge, rekindling her warrior heart and sealing her vow. When morning broke, she would defend the ancient woods and those she held dear. In a humble cottage by the river Avon, the last candle flickered its golden glow across rough-hewn walls, illuminating a simple straw pallet draped with coarse linen. The window stood ajar to admit the river's cool mist, painting silver streaks on the earthen floor, while beyond, the soft clucking of returning fowl blended with a mother's tender lullaby. Close your eyes, my precious child. Let the silver moon guide you gentle and mild. The lingering scent of cornmeal porridge mingled with dried jasmine at the Eloan herbal remedy medieval healers believed eased restless humors and unlocked the doorway to dreams. As the child's lids fluttered shut, images of a familiar cottage, siblings' laughter, and a mother's gentle caress emerged. Then came the soaring climax. The child drifted above endless fields of Bodhi flowers glowing in sunrise, a final memory before surrendering to sleep's embrace where every worry melted away, leaving only perfect peace.